All right, boys and girls, I know we talked last year about different types of leads. Leads are how you start your story. What's true of a personal narrative is true of a realistic fiction narrative. You want to grab your reader's attention right from the beginning. I think I even showed you this exact chart last year because I love how Mr. Bain writes leads. Remember how he had that story about when he was sledding? He had the story about sledding, and he started that story 3 different ways. First was dialogue. "Look out below," I called, as I jumped belly down onto the sled. In an instant, I was careening down the hill, the wind rushing against my face, my hands gripping the toboggan sides. Don't you want to read more? Don't you want to know what happens? Really, he just used 1, 2, 3. That was the 4th sentence. He's got a lead already. You should know who your character is and what he's doing in those first 2 to 4 sentences of your story. Listen to this action lead. Crash! The sled shattered into a million pieces. Splinters of wood flew through the air as I lay face down, writhing in pain. Wow. That's just 2 sentences. And we know that Mr. Bain is in pain because his sled crashed, right? Here's an image one. My head was pounding like a drum. I was screaming like a wild banshee as I laid on the snow. My face began to go numb on the melting snow. Again, he only has 3 sentences there, but I already know who is in the story and what's happening. Those are great examples of 3 different leads, but they're not the only type of leads that we have. I kind of made a list here. Let me put this up. We could use dialogue like Mr. Bain, action like Mr. Bain did, sound words. We could talk about where you are and who's there. We could use a literary device like a simile. You could have a surprise start. I think that one, crash, I was not expecting that start. You could change your sentence length. Have short ones, then long ones. You can use really juicy words. Those are all great ways for you to start your writing. What you're going to do today, writers, are you're going to think of 3 different ways that you could start this story. It's one story. You could start this story with dialogue, with action, with sound words, with literary device, your choice. Just like Mr. Bain started his sledding story. 3 different ways. You're going to go back to your seats and you're going to start your realistic fiction story 3 different ways. Go write.